Hi, and welcome to Northwest Stories, a documentary series produced by the University of Oregon School of Journalism and Communication. I'm your host, Dana Braidaway. In each episode, we explore the ethos of the Northwest through the exceptional lives of the people who call this region home. In this episode, we'll transport you to the hiking trails in Florence, a not-for-profit bakery in Eugene, a violin maker studio in Corvallis, a hip-hop community in Portland, and even a Hoven brush clearing operation in Woodland, Washington. Our stories deal with issues of race, adversity, prejudice, personal transformation, and even what it takes to come face to face with your mortality. 3 years ago, a medical diagnosis gave California transplant Bruce Yelle the final push he needed to move his wife and 5 dogs to Florence, Oregon. And while the beauty of the Oregon coast has certainly improved his quality of life, his fight is far from over.
When it started, one morning I got out of bed and I fell flat on my face. I kind of knew something was wrong, but I denied it. We went into the neurologist after all these tests, and neurologist comes in and she says, well, you have Parkinson's. You know, just flat out. My wife was like, huh? And of course my first thought is, no I don't. But I knew I had something. All they could do is treat symptoms. They cannot cure it or stop it or keep you from getting it. All they can do is treat your symptoms and try and keep your quality of life good, which to me the main thing is the quality of life. So when it became evident that I wasn't going to work again and we had my retirement and pretty good settled, so my wife decided to retire early, and we were going to come up into the coast. We pulled into Florence in the evening, a night. It was dark and raining and dreary and pretty ugly, and thought, oh God, we'd never live here. Well, in the morning we woke up and it was just like heaven. You know, I mean, it was almost like something coming down and touching you, going, this is where you need to be. So within 2 weeks we had a house, and just everything started going good from there. One of the reasons I was happy to move to Oregon, because they did have the death with dignity law. But as I got here and studied it more, I realized that it probably didn't go far enough.
Oregon's Death with Dignity Act gives terminally ill patients the option to end their lives with the assistance of a physician. To do this, patients must be of sound mind and have an estimated 6 months to live. These restrictions make it inaccessible to those with mentally degenerative diseases like Parkinson's.
I think the law they have now that you have to be on hospice and of a sound mind, I think that's too restrictive, because especially in my case with Parkinson's, chances are I'm going to be demented. And to me, my dignity ends probably when you have to start doing everything for me, toileting and all that. I feel that's a loss of dignity. I don't feel like I can be a plus to society anymore. I really don't want to be dependent on other people to have to do everything for me. So while I have a sound mind, I want to be able to pick a point of physical deterioration where I feel I've lost my dignity. And if I have my mind and still want to go on, then fine. But if I don't, that was the point I picked.
Before moving to Oregon, Yelle lived in the Sacramento Valley, where the intense heat worsened his pain. His symptoms and quality of life have improved since relocating to Florence.
I think because keeping moving is the philosophy behind staving off your Parkinson's symptoms is something I've really taken to heart and really try and keep moving somehow. Up here, the air is just so clear and everything's just so natural. People are like way friendly up here. It's just amazing to me. When I was in California, I'd have told you I'd never be in a boat and probably never fish. Well, I got up here and the fishing's so good that you just had to fish. And then as I started working more on physical things to do, because I ran into other people that enjoyed hiking and biking and doing the things I did, and they were disabled also, so we were kind of like all the same speed, and that's really gotten me out a lot more. And just the hiking, of course, where the trails are challenging. At this point, I like living. I like everything about it, but I know it's not going to keep being this way, because basically, like I said, it's all terminal. We know it's all going to end, but how is it going to end? And I would, since mine's going to be ugly, I'd rather have a say in how it's going to end instead of having to suffer because someone doesn't believe in giving me a couple pills. But I guess what I like to see happening is to get a movement going, to get it changed, because the baby boomers are going to make a big drain on the health industry. And I think that those of us that don't want to be the drain on the health industry should have a chance. I mean, some people call it death squads. Well, that's if you choose if I'm going to die, you know. But if I choose, that's different.